Welcome back to America's Retirement Headquarters. It is the home of the Retirement Guys formula on America's Medicare Associates with Nolan Baker. 419-794-3030 is the phone number. The website, arhq.com. If you missed the first half of the show, previous editions of the show, you just want to catch up on all the videos, all the shows that we've done, available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you consume your media. Just search for America's Retirement Headquarters, all there for you to listen to and check out at your leisure. Again, America's Retirement Headquarters. The Federal Reserve is now deciding when to start cutting interest rates. Fed Chair Jerome Powell has signaled it's not going to be anytime soon. Here is wealth manager Jeff Sika recently on Fox Business.
We were all convinced that we're going to get a rate cut in March. Now we're not. Now it's not going to happen. So as far as when is the recession going to come, if he keeps rates this high for much longer, he will throw us into a recession. If he cuts rates, he could ignite inflation.
Now, the Fed has tried to walk this tightrope for a good number of years now. Do you see the Fed as the deciding factor on which way the economy is going to go?
Well, the Fed certainly does have a pretty big impact on the economy with the decisions that they make. And, we're starting to see some of that really play out in the economy today. I mean, certainly if you look at the real estate market, there's a lot of people that have been pushed out of the real estate market because of where rates are at today. And, when you're looking at it and you're looking at how the Federal Reserve is going to impact the economy, and we can also see the impact like just last week when the new inflation numbers came out. They were a little bit higher than I think what people had expected, kind of spooked the market for a day or two because that fear was, they're going to keep rates a little bit higher longer. What the Federal Reserve does is, first of all, is they are the authority to set the federal funds rate, which is the interest rate at which banks lend each other overnight money. And changes in this rate really influence the broader interest rate environment. So by adjusting the interest rate, the Fed is aiming to control inflation. They also want to stimulate growth or cool down an overheating economy. So lowering interest rates is a way to encourage borrowing and spending, and then raising rates is designed to try to slow the economic activity. Number two is the way that the Fed impacts this is through inflation targeting. So the Federal Reserve has a dual mandate, and that's to achieve the maximum sustainable employment and stable prices. It aims really to try to keep inflation at a target rate, typically around 2%, and the Fed adjusts its monetary policy tools to maintain price stability when supporting economic growth. Number three is open market operations. The Fed conducts open market operations by buying and selling government securities in the open market. And this directly influences the monetary supply in the economy. So when the Fed buys securities, what it's doing is it's injecting money into the system, making it easier for banks to lend and stimulate economic activity. And on the flip end of the scale, when it's selling security, it's reducing the money supply and helping control inflation. Number four, bank reserves and lending. The Federal Reserve sets reserve requirements. That's going to dictate the amount of money that banks must hold in reserve. And by adjusting some of these, the Fed can influence the amount of money available for lending. They give us forward guidance. So, when they come out and they talk, we get to hear a little bit about what their forward guidance is to communicate their intentions regarding the future monetary policy. That clear communication helps shape some expectations of where they think the interest rates are going to go in the future, and that in turn can and does impact the financial markets as well. So number six, looking at creating financial stability, the Fed will monitor and address issues related to financial stability. It can use tools to respond to disruptions in the financial market, such as like when we saw COVID or 9/11 or the real estate crash of 2008. Helps to try to prevent systemic risk that could impact a broader economy. Number seven, currency value. The Fed's actions can impact the value of the U.S. dollar, and changes in interest rates and monetary policies can influence the currency exchange rates, affecting international trade and competitiveness. And number 8, the Fed is also responsible for emergency measures. So again, in those times of economic crisis or financial instability, the Fed can implement unconventional monetary policies such as what was referred to as quantitative easing, which was the large-scale asset purchases providing liquidity to financial institutions with the goal to try to stabilize the overall economy. So again, the Fed has a tough job. They're really kind of navigating the landscape. What they're trying to do is they're trying to bring down inflation without crashing the economy. And, the term that's become popular is soft landing. Are we going to have a soft landing? But, historically speaking, is not good for the future, just simply because of the fact that the market is close to or at an all-time high. Now's a good time to really get that independent portfolio analysis put together and have a good understanding as far as what not only the Fed, but what other things could impact the economy and your finances, and what are the steps that you can take to try to reduce and or eliminate those. On the flip end of the scale, when you do that, there's also ways to take advantage of what the Fed has done on impacting the economy. One of the greatest things the Federal Reserve has done for savers, whether you're looking at money market accounts or you're looking at FDIC-insured bank CDs or you're looking at the rates that fixed annuity companies are paying, you've got 20-year record highs. And why not take advantage of getting some of that high interest? So if, the flip end of the scale, if you've got a large balance in your safe money and you're earning less than 5%, you're missing out on the opportunity to make that money work a little bit harder. And again, we can show you a couple of examples on how you can do that. So 2 different ways to, apply that to your situation.
Because we can't control what the Fed does when they're going to lower the rates. We can't necessarily affect how inflation is going to be. But we say so often here on the show the importance of controlling what you can control. Having that independent portfolio analysis done is a good way to start. And using the high interest rates as they stand right now before they go back down, whenever that happens, as an opportunity to maybe set aside some money and take advantage of those interest rates to figure out how it's going to work for you. The team at America's Retirement Headquarters, just a phone call away, 419-794-3030.